Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So this week I am finishing up the semester and I'm taking my finals this week, and I realized I wanted to share a video with you guys about what's in my backpack and then maybe do a separate video on how I take notes / study. I figured since we're at the peak of the craziness of the year, it would be perfect to share what's in it right now with you guys. That way I can talk about what I really do use versus what I just kind of have in there and never use. I am not where I normally film. I normally film in our office, and it is being used for all of our Christmas preparations. That's where we do the majority of our wrapping, and anytime we have like a package show up, it gets thrown in there. So there was no room for me to film in there, so I'm gonna have to just settle with right here. All right, so this is my backpack. It is one of the like little North Face ones. I got it like I think around Christmas time, so they were on sale, and then I just started using it. It's like 2 years old, and honestly it's still in flawless condition. So if you guys have ever like thought about if it's worth the money, I think it is. And anytime my boyfriend and I go like hiking or anything, this is the backpack we like to take, just because it is like super nice. It has like a nice back on it right here, which really is just like, it's not just like fabric like a lot of other backpacks. It really has like a foam in there to really help with like support or whatever. And this backpack, I can honestly say, like if I load it up, it doesn't really feel different than if it's empty. It truly is just like really comfortable no matter what. So I really like it for that reason. My only thing that I'm like about is it only has 2 pockets. It has like the main one back here, and then it has this smaller one in the front. So when I have to put like my phone or just like a smaller item in there, it's just kind of all in there by itself, which is kind of annoying, but there are smaller pockets inside if you like want to be like that. Normally my phone's out, so it's not like a huge deal, but yeah. So I'm gonna go into the smaller pocket first. As you can see, it has like all these like little pockets like the other ones do. It has this big Velcro one in the back. The big Velcro one is where I keep my pencils and pens. If you guys didn't know, I took a gap year, and when I decided to go back, it was already about 3 weeks into the semester, so I signed up for classes pretty much on the last day you were allowed to. So I didn't get into the math class I want to get into. So typically the only thing I write with, unless I'm in a math class or taking a test, are pens. These are the ones I've been really liking. I got them from Target for like $2. They're just some Bic ones. And yeah, they write really smooth, and I really like that. I had like a couple other ones that are like from like horse shows I've gone to or whatever, and they're nice, but they run out of ink a lot sooner. This ink from the Bic pens is just nice and like long lasting, durable, and it's super long lasting, and it doesn't smudge, which is super duper nice. And it's like one of the gel pens, so it does write really, really nice. And when I use pencil, I prefer these ones. Some people prefer the really big fancy ones where you like take the tops off. I just find that those ones I break constantly. So I like these ones, but like I said, I usually don't really write in pencil, so I always tried to be one of the girls that use like pencil cases, but I just am not like that. I just like to just kind of throw it in there. So I just try to keep them separated in one pocket so it doesn't end up touching any of my other stuff. If you do like pencil cases, right on for you. I just found that I never actually put stuff away. I would always keep like 1 or 2 pens out of the case, and then those were the only ones that I would ever use. So for that reason, I just stopped buying pencil cases. And then I don't really keep anything in these other pockets up here. If I'm taking a test, I'll put my phone in one of them, but other than that, they stay empty. As far as in the front, I have a bunch of random odds and ends. So I always keep some lotion in here. If you guys don't know, I struggled with biting my nails for a long time, and having lotion on me all the time was pretty much the biggest way I stopped biting my nails. If you guys want to watch a video all about like my nail biting stuff, I'll link it down below. It was a really long thing for me, and so I just try to keep lotion on me at all times, because that really was what basically stopped me from biting them. And then I have chapstick, because I like to have chapstick all the time. And then of course, I'm a lady, so I keep one of these. I try to always have them on hand, just because even if a friend or someone needs them, I really do like to have them if someone needs them, because I have been the person that didn't, and it sucks. And the last thing I keep in here are index cards. I really want to get like one of the cases they have for index cards. I just don't, but I typically just use these as like note cards, or a lot of teachers will do like if you write on a note card, you can use that. If they do a participation grade, you can submit that as your participation. So I like to have them in case I need them for that reason. All right, now we're gonna go into the big pocket. This isn't like super fancy, honestly. I try to keep it pretty simple. What I do is I like to have a notebook for every class. I find this just helps me keep myself a little bit more organized, and since I am in college, I don't go to the same classes every day like people in high school do. In high school, I also typically had one notebook, but I know that that can get really heavy to carry all those at one time. So what I usually did was figured out the classes I truly needed an entire notebook to dedicate to, and then the other classes I usually just used like a binder, and that was like one each. The binder worked for like all the remaining classes where I didn't need an entire notebook for them. So yeah, I find that that just really helps. I like these, either you can get the Mead or the 5-star ones. I find that they work the best with the nice covers on the front, as well as they have the pocket inside. Typically what I do is I just put the immediate stuff I'm using in those pockets. And then my biggest key to staying organized is I have one of these giant, this one is a 7-pocket expanding folder. Truth be told, I never started using these until I was in college. In high school, I just pretty much used the pocket on the front, but in college, I found that every single class I was getting tons and tons of handouts, and it really was just impossible to fit them all in that folder. So how I like to organize the folder is, because this is a 7-pocket one, and like I said, I signed up so late, I only am in a few classes, and so I organize based upon how much like I get for each class. So like one of my biology classes, I get 4 or 5 pieces of paper every single time I show up to class, which can get really overwhelming. So that one actually has 2 pockets I give it. It has one that's like the new stuff, which is like current chapters I'm using, and then old is like stuff from before that will either be on a midterm or a final that I'm gonna probably need to look back at, but I'm not gonna need for a couple of weeks. So this also kind of forces me to go through my papers every once in a while, which I guess kind of helps you study, but realistically it's just like, do I know about this? And if it's like, yeah, I know about it and I'm not gonna need it for a while, then just toss it in that old folder. And I find that when I study for exams, I love having my old quizzes and stuff that I can just access really easily, and I never risk throwing them away because I just keep them the entire semester. This folder is really, really full. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is getting extremely full. And like I said, I'm not even in like a ton of classes this semester. I'm only taking 10 units this semester, but next semester I'm gonna be taking 19. So I definitely am going to need to utilize this. I might even have to get another one for like certain days of the week. I take that one, and other days I'll take this one. Just because this has been so useful, I totally recommend you guys get one. It has helped me stay organized like more than you can believe. And how I like to organize it within the inside is I just do it chronologically. So in the new folder, each time we start a new chapter, that'll pretty much be, let's say we're on chapter 7, I'll put all of chapter 7s right there, and then the old folder is gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in chronological order again. This isn't like the most organized way necessarily. Like if you are looking for something, you still might have to kind of search a little bit, but at least you'll have an idea of where it is, and it kind of still makes sense if you were to take it out to look over it as notes. You're gonna kind of follow the steps of how things are progressing within that class. A few of my classes just did very minimal like handouts, and so those I really only gave one folder. It was just like named after that one class, and I do like that these give you labels to use, and I always keep one pocket as like my random stuff. So like if you get like a parking ticket you need to deal with at school, or like there's like a handout that's about like signing up for something online, or if you're in high school and you have like a, I don't know, a prom ticket you need to go pay for and your parents, you know, gave you the check or whatever it is. I find that having a folder to dedicate all that stuff to is super, super helpful. I do have a whole thing of highlighters in here that I have not opened. So I guess that kind of tells you how much highlighting I do. If you guys want to see a video on how I take my notes, I think I'm probably going to film it regardless and upload it, even if people don't say they want to see it. Sorry. But I think the way I really like the way I take notes. I've seen a lot of videos on how other people do it, and I feel like it's just like color overload. It realistically doesn't make sense to me that you're going to sit down and edit or like go through your notes that way. Like it just doesn't work. I know my boyfriend likes to highlight each like new thing that is going over, and I get that, but there's people who I've seen videos of, they're like, highlight this, highlight that, oh, highlight this keyword, and I'm just like, there's no way I'm gonna sit down and do that while I'm trying to follow a lecture. And then even therefore afterwards, I'm just like, I don't think I would read through notes and do that. So I think the way I take notes, I've really like, and I think it's pretty simplistic. And if you guys are someone who just kind of wants it to be on the paper and like simple like that, let me know and I will totally show you guys because it works great for me. The final thing that I keep in my backpack, like I said, not very much, is this planner. This one is from Target, but you can kind of get them from wherever you want. I really like this one because not only does it have it like how every planner does, where it's like by the like that week and like what you have planned for the week. It also has at the beginning on each tab here, if you go to like the very first page of the month, it'll have the entire month here. I don't depend on this monthly one really to like plan out my life, but what I do is that at the beginning of each week, whether honestly sometimes it's even in a class, I have a Monday night class that's like 3 hours, so she always gives us like a 15-minute break in the middle of it, and I will often flip open my planner and just plan my week. I find that that works so well, and if you guys have a time on Monday or Sunday or even Tuesday, honestly it doesn't matter too much, to be able to just kind of look at what you have, I find it helps me so much. And so what I like to do is each time I get to a new week, so this was back in September, and this is the week of September 17th through 23rd. I looked at what was already written on here, and then I would take it and put it on my weekly planner. The other thing you have to remember is in college especially, I know a lot of the dates are tentative and they'll tend to change depending on how quickly you're progressing. At least for me it has. I don't know, maybe big schools are different. I go to community college. But as far as like staying organized is really important, I think, to compare those dates. My teachers are really good about updating stuff online, so I'll also go on there when I'm trying to plan it, but this just really helps me kind of plan for what I need to do that week, and it also will let me add in things like work and kind of account for that as I'm planning when I'm gonna get things done. And the very back of this planner has a lot of really cool features on it as well. It allows you to kind of plan for like the future, and it had a couple pieces of line paper in the back, and I was able to look up all my classes for next semester and include that in here. That really is just, again, a good place to have it where it's not interfering with one of your other notebooks. It's just in here, and it really does help you like plan for your future. All right guys, that's everything I keep in my backpack. Again, it's pretty simple, but since I am going through and studying for finals right now, I figured I would just kind of show you guys it. I think it was also good for me to kind of look back and realize like what I really do use as opposed to like what I'm just buying and wasting money on. So if you're trying to save money, I recommend doing this and just kind of looking through your backpack and realizing like, I didn't use that all this semester, so let's make sure I don't go buy more highlighters this semester because I don't need them and I'll save the $5. So, all right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Bye.